Hey, we're live. Yeah. Everyone else is muted.
Who's live?
Who's live? I'm live. What? I don't know which video this one is, so it might be. I think it's the Harris one.
I'm not finished.
There we go. Boom. And we're live, and nobody's watching yet. So we're live to nobody.
We're live to each other.
Yeah, we're live to each other. Welcome to the show, America Through a Rat's Glass. I lost count of how many episodes we've done, so I just named it Angry People Everywhere.
I think we're like 38 or something. I can't even
remember. Well, no one noticed, but a few weeks ago I had 36 twice, and then I had to go back and edit it. I'm like, oh God, I'm fucking stupid. Okay.
Oh God, I'm stupid.
We'll move on from here. We have Kate here with us tonight. She's going to talk about some of this stuff. She's a little special guest.
Yeah.
Everyone knows her. We've seen her 1,000 times. So,
are you trying to say she's like old news? Is what you're trying to say?
Yeah, kind of.
Wow.
I can't say she's fake news because you guys are married now. How's that? How's the marriage, man? How's wedding?
News.
How's married life?
You walk around. The only difference is we walk around the house. Sometimes we go, we're married. The other one's like, oh shit. Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird because me and Katie lived together too before we got married, and we just left our wedding and went home, and it was just like, we're married. So
that's pretty much it. We left the wedding and went back to the hotel, and then a bunch of stress ensued because we had to figure out where to bring the dogs as well as where to bring her grandma. So
where to bring her grandma?
Yeah, because we had to bring her to the hospital or to the airport. Sorry, at a certain time, and then we couldn't have the dogs in the hotel room. We had to pick them up before the certain time. It was just this crazy. We ended up switching hotels. It was just this wild thing.
So you're like, yeah, I'm going to hang out an extra day. We're going to chill. It's been fucking stressful. We're going to kick back, throw our feet up, watch some ridiculousness, and we're not going to do any of that. We're actually to have a really hard time.
Yeah, we ended up eating the top of our wedding cake that was sitting in the truck the whole day in the 90 degrees. It was just melted and
we finally got to try our wedding cake too.
We got to finally try it, which it was fantastic. Shout out to them.
Yeah,
but it was.
I tried. It was good. I didn't even know you guys cut the cake. They didn't even make like an announcement.
Hey, James.
Hi, James.
James is here. Is he the only fan we have tonight?
No, we have Katie, I'm sure, as well.
Oh yeah.
Hi, Katie. Yeah, no. So we made a small announcement, but it wasn't, because we didn't want to make a big thing where like everyone had to come in and gather around and shit. Like it was more just for her and I.
Yeah.
Honestly, awesome. Most of the things that we did that night were just her and I. Like it was like, okay, we're gonna do this because we want to do it. Fuck everyone else.
You guys put a picture on Facebook of you all playing beer pong, and I'm in the background like. I don't even remember that picture. I have no idea.
It looked like you were trying to explain the rules to my mom.
I probably was. I think I was.
Yeah. Yeah, we had beer pong at the wedding. It was pretty amazing.
Your dad walked out there. I'm like, hey, celebrity shot, Bob. He comes over and sinks it. Like, whoosh, perfect shot. I was like, but it was cool, man.
He's an old school beer pong player,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was a blast, man. Congratulations, guys. It's awesome. Man.
In Germany, they called it like Lagerdunken, and like he was the master back then. when he was in the army, he played Lagerdunken.
Did you guys catch any fireworks for America's birthday, or did you just nothing? Just hung out?
Slept through them.
Actually, no, we did. We so when we got back to the new hotel room, we passed out for like hours. We watched like 6 movies or something. I don't know, off and on, but yeah, through the window we saw some fireworks. So it wasn't too bad. How about yourself?
Dude, we got like no rest. We went straight to my parents' house, and it was like a barbecue cookout. And then Hannah's parents live across the street, and Hannah's brother and sister were over there, and they bought a bunch of fireworks too. We ended up having like $1,000 of fireworks between the two of us, and we set them off in front of my parents' house. It went on for like an hour and a half, dude. It was crazy. The neighbor across the street has a little Facebook group she was really proud of. She's like, it's called Q Block. There's 21 members. I'm like, man, fucking awesome. And she came out, started recording shit, and it was really cool, man. A bunch of mortars and shit. It was a really fun time. And then
that's awesome.
This neighbor comes down from down the street. He's like, hey, could I join you? It was like after we did our finale, we lost off like 6 mortars at once. We had all kind of fucking shit going on. He's like, yeah, can I join you guys? I'm like, yeah, like whatever. I'm sweeping. And so he comes over and lights this thing, he lights it upside down. And it's got like 30 rockets that shoot out of this thing. It was a big ass firework. And so instead of going pew, pew, boom, and the whole fucking thing exploded. Like there was shit flying at my parents. We had like 20 kids outside. There was shit flying at them, flying it down the street. There's a video where it's like going around the back of my head. It's like, what the hell, man? I'm like, dude, it's
I think
upside
you're
down.
frozen.
Yeah.
I am.
Oh, I thought.
Oh, she's not. She just doesn't care.
She just doesn't care about your story at all. I thought she honestly was frozen. No, that's absolutely insane. So he just lit it upside down and like walked away, strolled away like it was no big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. It was the lady's got a video from her ring cam. She's supposed to send me, but she hasn't yet. I don't know. She's old.
The ring cam footage of Sheldon almost dying.
Yeah, dude, it was fucking nuts. It was huge. Like I saw the video, it looked like a bomb went off. Oh, the whole thing. It was crazy.
Oh, Jay's behind me. We're at Mom's. Hi, Jay. Hi, Mom. Mom? Who's Mom?
Ma.
Mom. Are we in England?
I think we're in England.
That's absolutely wild. So then after that, then what? You guys just kind of hang out and went to bed, huh?
Yeah, kind of. We decided that we're doing
Your
it every
dad's.
year, though. Dude, it was so cool how it worked out because like all the kids that grew up on that street were all there either at their parents' house or they bought houses there.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like all of us, we used to watch fireworks when we were like 10 and we were all together just throwing.
Oh, that's awesome.
We had fucking piles of fireworks. It was just completely random. No one knew we were doing it. So now it's like an every year thing we decided we're going to do.
That's fantastic, man. That's awesome. I love when that kind of stuff happens. And now you guys get to come back together and hang out again.
Yeah. I love America's birthday, man. It's like my favorite holiday. A lot of people don't like it, though. It kind of bothers me.
Why do you say that?
Well, people say like it's not, America's not free. We shouldn't celebrate America, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, come on, man.
I think
Like,
we're
that's
celebrating our independence from Europe, from
Yeah.
people who say mum. So
Yes, exactly.
So I mean, we're not celebrating personal freedoms. We're celebrating the freedom of the independence of our country, not whether or not you can own a minigun. You know, it's not the point, I don't think. But I get the idea. I mean, it is rough. It is a rough time for some people if you celebrate freedom. But if you celebrate it as just the birth of a country, then hey, that's different.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
obviously we're not perfect. We're nowhere near perfect. I mean, that's pretty much what the show is tonight about, is everything that, the big things that are happening right now, the arguments, the critical race theory, gender stuff in schools, trying to teach that to kids. And people are going crazy. People are getting arrested, like at school board meetings. They're getting dragged out of school board meetings because they're throwing fits about this shit. And I'm just like, dude, what the fuck is going on? I don't understand it.
Well, what do you mean? Explain critical race theory to those people who don't know.
Oh, I'm going to fuck it up really bad. I wanted to have DJ on here to explain it better for us. But essentially, it's saying that, if it's not equity for everybody, then it shouldn't be there. We should replace it with something better. We should make it work for everybody. If there's laws or policies or anything that, don't ensure that everybody gets to the same place at the end of the day, then it should be corrected. I mean, that's really the best way I can really describe it. It's been since like the 40s. It's a really old thing. But, it's just now coming back into prominence and people are starting to care about it again.
Kate, what do you think about that?
I'm wrong completely. That's her face.
No, I don't think we're defining critical race theory correctly.
You don't?
Because I just looked it up because I don't want to be wrong with
I don't mind being wrong, but go ahead.
It's an academic concept.
Yes.
So that for us to re-examine law as it intersects with race, specifically in this case, and then also like how we teach history, and yeah, really how the big thing, the part that intersects with the school system that you're talking about is like how we teach history to not be a bunch of to not lie,
Yeah.
not sugarcoat history and pretend that African people just came to America to work.
Oh, happily on the Mayflower. They were.
I heard they won a cruise.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like a timeshare thing. They tricked them. They got fucked.
Well, if you
That's
look
why
at,
you never buy a timeshare. That's just
Exactly.
that's why.
I don't know about you guys, but I mean, in Connecticut, we learned about Christopher Columbus and slaves and whatnot in 5th grade. That's when we started learning about it, and it was very much the Indians welcomed Christopher Columbus to their land and showed him around and helped him build civilizations. And African people came over to America to work in the fields until, you know, they were given the right to vote and whatnot. And just like, it's inaccurate and inaccurate to the extent of being dangerous. And that's why.
Yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. Like it just went, you know, this has happened. And then like a very little corner next to an asterisk, it says they were slaves. And they didn't actually really talk about it. You know, you bring up Columbus. I didn't really learn about what Columbus really did and how it really went until I was in my 20s. Until I went out and, you know, I seeked out the information to see what was actually real.
So now here's the question. Let me play devil's advocate here. Now, do we bastardize Christopher Columbus because of, you know, the inaccuracies in which we teach history, or do we, you know, accept what happened for what happened and, you know, move on? Like, I know a lot of my Black friends, they will not celebrate like Columbus Day. There are a lot of progressive liberals won't celebrate Columbus Day because it's like, you're not a hero. You're, you know, a villain. You killed, you know, countless blah, blah, blah. So not the blah, 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 but, you know, I don't want to go too deep into it.
Yeah, that was really insensitive, man.
It really was. I honestly, when I said it, I kind of sucked my own teeth. But the idea was like, it was like, you know, the people who consider themselves progressive refuse to celebrate. That is the biggest glass I've ever seen. What the hell was that?
Oh, so my kids bought me this. It's a frozen beer mug, and so it looks like there's beer in it, and you freeze it. I was waiting for when I came back from Vegas. My kids bought it for me for Father's Day. Oh. So I'm like, hell yeah, let's fill it up with whiskey. Let's drink the shit out of it.
You have a 32-ounce glass full of whiskey?
Well, it's whiskey and Dr. Pepper.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh my God.
I got
you have a problem.
Jim being Black Label tonight. I got rid of the Buffalo Trace for the evening. So
oh, nice. I picked up my buddy Don Julio here. DJ brought me. I was hoping he was going to come on. DJ brought me a bottle all the way from his house all the way to the wedding, because he bought this bottle for me 2 years ago, and I was supposed to come out there. He was supposed to come out here or something, and never happened. You know, COVID.
No shit.
And he was like, I brought this bottle for you. And I didn't have the heart to tell him that we also like that. Don Julio is nice, but it's not like, you know, you can go and get it.
If you got $48, you got some Don Julio.
Honestly, he drinks pure white Hennessy, which
is
$100 and something a bottle. Now that is like elite level alcohol, you know?
Yes. Or even Reposado, is that what it is? Don Julio Reposado. I can't say that shit. But what are you drinking, Kate? Nothing?
I forgot. This is last minute. You asked me at 7:59.
You're about to get booted off this show. Is what's going to happen. So
how do I disappear for a moment?
Oh, I got you. Boom. She's gone. Editor. She's gone. Okay. Justin makes a good point, though. Back on track. You can tell the truth without vilifying. I think the biggest problem we have is we're looking at people and these historical figures, Jefferson, you know, Christopher Columbus, and we're judging them based on today.
I love how gangster Katie is. Sorry.
That's my
favorite. You know, when I describe your wife, one of the first things is that, she's like just enough hood for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And the more she drinks, the more hood she gets. Like she can get really fucking gangster. When I tried
to describe her to my Kate, I was like, yeah, she's like the perfect amount of hood. Like, honest to God.
Like she's nice and sweet and she's great, but she will fuck your ass up.
She's about to slap a hoe.
Should aw.
Hey, that was really fast. Look at that.
Wait.
He just said my wife would smack a hoe from the tribe Smack a Hoe.
We're talking about how hood your counterpart is.
Yeah.
How hood my what is?
Counterpart, Katie.
Yeah, she can get pretty hood, man.
Well, what do you got? What you got going on there? You're breaking something.
So it's called On the Rocks. So it's perfect. It's a jalapeno pineapple margarita. So I got these. Dustin and I have an agreement that anytime we have to go to the liquor store for anything, you have to pick up something fun for the house. Just how it works. So I picked this up. And because the guy at the liquor store said it was amazing. It's amazing. Bottled, like, pre-mixed cocktails are never amazing. It's so good.
Really? I got a thing about jalapeno. I don't like hot and sweet together. I like hot to be hot and sweet to be sweet.
Hmm.
Like I don't
Is
like
that why Katie's just hot?
Yeah, it depends on her mood, how gangster she's being. Either she's really hot, or she's really sweet, or she's gonna kick my ass. It's one of the three. No, but like jalapeno jelly and shit like that, I can't do it. I can't do.
I'm with you. I don't mind like sweet hot wings, like stuff like that, but I'm not a fan of like a spicy jelly. Like I don't, you know what I mean? I don't like that kind of stuff. Or even that kind of like spicy cocktails. I'm hit and miss with a spicy cocktail. Because I want a cocktail to be refreshing, and if it's spicy, I'm weird. I'm like, man, this is too weird.
I mean, I've had Bloody Marys a few times. I don't think I've ever had a good one.
I think really Bloody Mary is different. That's a hair of the
Bloody
dog.
Marys are shit.
They're fantastic.
They're shit.
I'll fight you.
So listen, someone put a celery in my drink once, and I was like, "Get this shit out of here!" There's a fucking leaf on it. I'm like, dude,
celery. Okay. We're getting a little sidetracked. Back to racism and the founding of America.
Back to racism. These fucking celery pudding drink fucking people. Good God. Anyway,
Bloody Marias are really good too. They have tequila instead of vodka. They're really good.
Yeah, but it's spicy, and it's like listen, tomato in my drinks. I'm not a fan of. Like putting tomato in your beer. People put tomato juice or V8 in beer too. My dad used to do that shit. I'm like,
Clamato.
Use
a straw.
The celery?
What?
I don't have that kind of suction, friend.
Listen, there's never been a time in my life that I've been like, man, I want some celery. So I would never fucking want that shit in my drink.
I've never been sitting at home watching TV go, man, I could go for a celery.
Let me get me a stock of celery. Let's fucking hang out.
Kate, what are you doing? You're being weird.
I feel like the glass is distorting my mouth.
That's what it's called, clamato. I can't do that shit either.
Well, it's clam juice and tomato juice mixed together. It's the best.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's even worse. That sounds even more terrible.
Oh, it's disgusting.
I thought it was just like tomato juice with a weird name.
No, it's tomato juice and clam liquor mixed together.
Oh, that sounds really bad.
Yeah.
Clam liquor.
Really, really bad.
Clam liquor. Title of your sex tape. Score. Anyway, all right. Anyway,
let's get back to being racist. So Justin brought up a good point while you were gone. He said you can tell the truth without vilifying, and he's right because you can. Columbus was a prick. Let's be real about it. But you have to judge him on the context of the time, like conquering and imperialism and shit. That was all what they did. That's how the time was. So you can't.
Imperialism.
I fucked the word up. I'm drinking all
okay.
night. Imperialism? There we go. I got it. At least it wasn't George. I fucked that up like 9 times a few weeks ago. I said George over and over again nonstop.
Yeah, he really like kind of shits all over the guy's legacy when you call him George.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just kept doing it too. I had to call him Mr. Floyd by the end of the night.
You did. You called him Mr. Floyd a lot.
Anyway, but yeah, that's what they did. So it's hard to judge him and call him that big a piece of shit because he was just the best at what everybody else did. But I mean, I don't know if we should celebrate it. I don't think so.
Well, Dustin said, should we condemn this person and be, everything, or should we celebrate it? And it's just, there's a middle ground there. We don't have to have a Columbus Day. We also don't have to, not recognize that it was the beginning of the, founding of America. There's an in-between there. It's just being like, here's what it was. It sucked. We're not going to keep doing it.
It happened. This happened. Columbus did this. But no, we shouldn't have. I don't think Columbus Day. Who gives a shit? Like, it goes back to the shit about the trans athlete doing weightlifting. Like, no one cared about women's weightlifting before this happened. Except the people who lifted weights. Like, that was it. And now people are like, care about Columbus all of a sudden. And Columbus Day. We got to protect Columbus Day. No one ever gave a shit. Let's be real. So
Justin just brought up a good point. It's like, it's things like this. George Washington was the first president. Great general, also a slave owner.
Shit general.
People owned slaves. It was a terrible thing to own slaves. But we also don't have to entirely vilify George Washington for owning slaves because that's what people did at the time. We can be like, he was a great general. He also sucked because he owned slaves.
Yep.
Both of we don't have to say, F George Washington forever because he did that bad thing. It was a very bad thing. We shouldn't.
we
walk
have
around
this
it.
we have this hero worship in this country where the good guys are good all the time no matter what, and the bad guys are bad all the time no matter what, when in reality there's gray area, right? And the idea that George Washington, we'll use him as an example. He was a slave owner, but he also stepped down from running the country when he could have been King George for sure. Made him a good guy, but he was a slave owner, so maybe not such a good guy. But like, we look at these people as heroes. Like, oh my God, this guy is like. Here's an unpopular opinion. We look at Trump, and he's like a bad guy, right? But he also did some really good things. He gave you a raise, Kate. As a service member. So it's like there.
But I think.
You can't like good and but you can't just good or bad.
Well, yeah, the Trump thing is it goes with your hero thing exactly, because there's people that worship everything Trump ever did. You know what I mean?
But,
people that hate
but at the same time, he self-admitted that he has molested women and things like that, where it's like that's not a good thing.
I think there are people where the bad outweighs the good outweighs the bad, or they balance each other out.
Yeah. My mom makes a point here. If you don't want to celebrate Columbus Day, don't celebrate it. But
the problem with that is that it's a national holiday.
Yeah.
So
I don't think it should be a national holiday.
It's not one of those things where it's not just don't celebrate if you don't like it. That's like saying that we're
go to work.
We're an English speaking nation, and if you don't speak English, get the fuck out. That kind of thing. That's just not the case. Yes, it is generally accepted to speak English, but we don't have a national language. We just don't have one. Like Christopher Columbus Day, you can celebrate it as an American if you want, but it shouldn't be like a bank holiday. You know what I mean? It should just
who celebrates Columbus Day? That's my problem though.
Yeah,
who the fuck celebrates? Who's having?
I do.
I know you are, you son of a bitch. I was
there,
shit,
bro. I was fucking there.
Who's having a Columbus Day barbecue? Like,
we called it Double C back in the day, and that fucking belt buckle hat he used to wear, you don't even know. He started that shit. I was there. I was like, "Yo, Double C, what's up with why you got a belt on your head?" He was like,
once a year, you fucking clean off your belt buckle, get it all polished, put that shit back
on his head, and I just shit my pants right there. It was mostly the dysentery, but I swear to God, it was crazy.
And you just go to the Indian reservation and start taking people out. I mean, that's exactly what you got.
Yeah, well, I gave them all blankets first. Shout out to my man Tay.
It's another reason to have a sale. There you go.
Native American.
It's another reason to have a furniture sale.
Yeah, Columbus Day. Get your fucking couch. Yeah.
Well, I don't know when to buy a mattress. It's the only time to buy a mattress.
Yeah, it just reminds you. Oh, my mattress might be bad. So I don't know anything about Canadian Thanksgiving. I'm sorry, I'm ignorant. I don't know anything about
Canadian
Canada.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
it's actually a hell of a good time. At least the few that I've attended, they're pretty fucking fun.
This is how bad it is. Up until a few years ago, I thought they were still part of England. Like, I didn't even know they were independent for a long time. For real. I have too much in America to worry about. There was a Canadian on a drilling rig that told me, and I felt really stupid. He goes, "We're not part of England anymore." I'm like, oh.
So this is really interesting, right? So Christmas and Easter are also national holidays, and nobody's forcing anyone to celebrate them either. But that's the other thing. They're Christian holidays, right?
Yeah.
So we have them. They're government mandated religious holidays. So like, I don't know, dude.
Yeah. Thanks, James.
Cool. September. I thought we were just naming months.
Is James one of those people who's like, my birthday's in June, so June's a holiday? The whole month.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's my birthday month. I'm doing everything I want to. Eat shit.
But being a religious holiday that's mandated by the government, they're not forcing you to celebrate, but they're giving you incentive to celebrate, right? So same with Columbus Day, they're giving you incentive to celebrate something that might not necessarily bring you happiness. And it's just enjoy the day off. And it's like, it's not really about that. Like if we had a Adolf Hitler holiday where everyone got the day off, I mean, you just can be like, yeah, well, the guy was a prick, but I got the day off. We should celebrate him. It's just not.
Listen, what are you cooking on Hitler Day? Like, what's dinner on Hitler Day?
Nope.
I wasn't going that direction.
So fast.
Nope. So what else we talking about tonight?
Yeah. So no, but you make a good point because I mean, I look at Christmas and Thanksgiving holidays, especially from work, as just a time to be with your family, regardless of what your religion is. But it's a hard one, especially today in 2021. It's like there's so many different people with so many different religions, so many different backgrounds. It's kind of hard to force that one down people's throat. I don't know.
Well, and that's what I mean. Like we don't have like Kwanzaa isn't a national holiday, right?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like we could go through. Ramadan isn't a national 20-day holiday. I mean, it's like if we were truly, well, you just don't. We're gonna make it a national holiday, and if you're not Muslim, don't celebrate it. You know what I mean? Like, can you imagine if the president came out and said that shit? Like, people would lose their fucking minds. So we're making Ramadan a national holiday. No big deal if you don't celebrate it, but you got the time off of work.
Yeah.
Would shit a brick.
Yep.
So I saw something that actually like made me really sad for this person. She was a college student who was talking about how it's really frustrating that we center. There's like, what is it? More than 15 holidays in December. But we center everything around Christmas. So her college gets Christmas and the days leading up to Christmas off. But that meant that she was Jewish and her finals landed on Hanukkah. So
He's gone. Keep going.
Her finals landed on Hanukkah, which was really sad because she's like, I couldn't spend time with my family who gather for these days. And I had to study for my finals all night. Whereas Christmas is one day and we get a week off for it. And it's for everybody. And that made me really sad. I was like, that's a good point. I'm sorry. I have no control over it, but I'm sorry.
I've never thought about that way either. It is kind of shitty. But I mean, what's the solution? What do? Do you make, all these holidays? You said, 15 days in December? Is that what you said? Or holidays? Do you just make them all holidays? So you just have the whole month off? Or
no, but I think that they should make reasonable accommodations for people. So it's like, hey, if you want to take your final or, a couple days earlier or a couple days later because you want to spend time with your family because it's Hanukkah, then you should be able to do that. If you don't, if you want to spend time with your family because it's Kwanzaa and Kwanzaa lasts. How many does this Kwanzaa last? You got to get me fucked up. I have no idea. I feel like there should be reasonable accommodations for people. If most people celebrate Christmas, so you want to base it on that because it's for the majority, great. But for those minorities, like the same way we adjust testing for people who need more time testing for whatever reason, like those accommodations exist. We can make them apply to people who want to celebrate their religious holiday.
Yeah, I agree completely. Let's get back on track though. I don't know. We're talking about holidays. Justin made a good point though about the history side of things. We're not talking about what happened in Tulsa in the 20s. We're not, that's just not taught in school. I didn't know about that. I love history.
That's fine.
And that's part of the critical race theory that you brought up, make sure the history is taught right, that it's important. I think that should be taught. Like everything that fucking happened should be taught and not filtered out by what people think it's going to.
How do we teach 200 plus years of oppression?
You have history required for every year of school, no matter what. And you take it through decade by decade by decade. And people have to know what happened. If it's oppression we're talking about, people have to know.
How can you possibly fit that much information into a 1 hour class?
Well,
listen,
5 days a week.
I learned an awful lot in school about, Tammany Hall, the politics of Chicago, the kind of shit that we didn't really need to know about. And they glossed over. We had once a month, we talked about Black history and, George Washington Carver and peanuts. We talked about that a lot, but we didn't ever talk about Tulsa. So let's be real. There's things that we can not teach and, kind of back off from. And there's things that we should be teaching better, obviously.
I took 2 history classes in high school. I did a U.S. history and a U.S. government. So but it was history classes. And in a year, you do scope from 1776 to 2012 at the time.
Yeah.
You scope all of it. And so it wouldn't be hard to just add in, hey, also during this time, People were protesting in the streets because it was legal to lynch Black people publicly. It's not, you don't teach 200 years of oppression in 1 hour. You add that into the curriculum that you're already teaching. And it doesn't take a lot of time, but it's just about making sure we do it.
Yeah, I think history should be something that's more prominent, something that's taught more, required more. Because after 10th grade, history was an elective for me. I love history, so I kept taking it, but that should be something that we have to know, especially American history. Like, this is what happened in our country. That way we don't have people that have no idea why everyone's mad. You know what I mean? Like, why do they like Columbus? Columbus is awesome.
Well, so the reason why I asked about, 200 plus years of oppression, just for one particular group, not even like, the Irish oppression in New York in the beginning, or the Native Americans, or the Jews, or the Asians when we put them in camps, or, I mean, the list goes on and on and on, right?
I learned about that, not joking, 3 months ago. The Japanese internment camps.
The internment camps, yeah. I mean, that's fucking horrible.
Holy
shit.
I
mean, how can we possibly teach? I mean, I'm not saying that we shouldn't. That's not the argument here. I absolutely am on the side of learning, but the amount of atrocity to teach to a 15-year-old kid in how many days of school, 1 hour a day. I mean, how can you possibly fit that in? You know what I mean? We got to have 16 grades.
Grades.
Just to have more. You just want your kids out of the house.
Yeah, exactly. Get the fuck out of here.
60 grades.
You have to prioritize it. The answer is prioritizing it. Deciding that
what's more
maybe learning
Japanese internment camps or Malcolm X.
Neither. They're both equally important, but
neither.
What's more important, Malcolm X or home ec? What's more important, Malcolm X or another gym class? I mean, maybe there's shit that we should be teaching that we're not. Let's just be real about it.
I spent, not joking, 3 entire history classes in an AP US history learning about Nixon's Watergate scandal. That could be one, and we can add in a couple more hours of the Black freedom movement or racial liberation in the 50s and 60s.
Oh, we can tie that one up quick. Nixon was an asshole. That's all you got to say about the fucking guy.
Here's what Watergate was. Nixon sucked.
Yeah, and he wasn't the president no more. Move on to something more important. But what we're focusing on is bullshit. I mean, we don't need to learn about this shit. And if someone wants to seek out what happened to Nixon, they can look it up. But I think the actual history of our country needs to be taught. And, people having issues with critical race theory, whatever, you don't want to teach your kids the theory, but, we're teaching evolution and we're teaching creation as, possible theories of how we got here. Why aren't we teaching other theories? It doesn't have to be, it's a theory. It could be wrong. It's probably not, but it could be wrong. We should show these kids what they have and what they can look at and let them decide for themselves what they think. But deciding we just can't do it is stupid.
I was thinking back to, because, I started on an anti-racist journey only a couple of years ago, honestly, when I started realizing that, this is going to make me sound really stupid, but that racism still existed, because I didn't realize until I was like 23 years old that racism was still a thing.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
I was taught treat everyone the same, the end. And I wasn't taught about the history of racism. I was very much taught the slaves were free. Then they got to vote and everything was fine. We had segregation for a little bit and then that ended. And that was so detrimental. It was more detrimental than just learning that it was something that happened. Because then I had to figure out where racism existed and what things were racist outside of someone calling someone else the N-word.
Yeah.
So if that had started, it's easy to teach kids things. They're open to learning anything. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this. I wish I had learned about it when I was a teenager.
No, yeah, I agree completely. I mean, I keep bringing up George Washington Carver, and the reason is because I learn about him every fucking year. I learned about his little peanut experiments every fucking year, and we just didn't.
That was true though. He didn't actually do anything with peanuts, I thought.
Really?
I think we were all taught that he was like this, like he created peanut butter and all this shit. Like, I don't think that was true.
This drink is strong.
You just
but
wrecked
really
my whole childhood. My whole childhood's fucked now because of you. Thank you.
Yeah, I feel like I read something somewhere that it was all just propaganda or some craziness that
Wow.
he actually.
Yeah, they just pick a name because it's George Washington. So like, oh, the white people will like this one.
Yeah, George Washington Carver, and then it also was the rise of whatever. It doesn't really matter. But the idea that this is getting back to my point. I didn't want to cut you guys off because you're making some really good points. But we see systematic oppression, racism, if you don't want to use the word racist, but racism, systematic oppression in our current culture, right? Like, so that's the point of having this critical race theory, the idea of it being taught. Currently in the news, obviously, there's a major story of a female Black athlete turning her back on the anthem when it was playing, and people are up in arms, right? They're losing their collective minds over this, for lack of a better word, peaceful protest. Now, for those of you who are even a remote history buff, you know that this is not the first time that this has ever happened, right? Like, this is not new news. I mean, this happened years ago. This is a Black protest during the national anthem.
Is that, what year does that say? 1958? That can't be right.
1960.
And I think the same athlete actually got in trouble for doing just that, for putting her fist up during the anthem a few years ago or a couple of years ago. I mean, that's just.
This was, and believe it or not, the gentleman, the silver medalist here, he gave them those gloves. He had those black gloves, and that's why they each have one each hand. They have their different hands. The story behind that is that he actually gave them those gloves, and how do I get out of this thing? He gave them the gloves so that he could protest because he supported them and he didn't know how to protest with them. So he gave them the gloves and stood in silence. So I mean, it's a wonderful moment, but this is basically the same thing. I mean, they're protesting. They're protesting inequality in our country, and that's what she's protesting. I mean, it's not. There's nothing deeper to it. It just is what it is, and people are losing their minds. And back then, it was racist people losing their minds because these black guys were holding their hands up, and now we have a black woman doing the same, and people are losing their minds under the guise of patriotism. She's not a patriot because she turned her back on the flag.
Well, I mean, let's be real about it. If you're a Russian and you turn your back during the anthem, what's going to happen when you go home?
We're not Russia.
If you're Chinese and you turn your back, what's going to happen when you go home? We're fucking free and we can do that. If we want to protest, we can fucking protest. That's our country. That's who we are.
We have. I mean,
we should celebrate that.
We
should
have the right for a peaceful protest. We have the right to assemble. And then when we peacefully protest, we're considered not patriotic, but then when we riot, then we're considered heathen. So what the fuck do you want?
You're a heathen anyway.
I am a heathen.
You're a heathen.
That is true. I actually have that tattooed on the inside of my butt cheeks.
Yeah.
I can attest.
Good. I'm glad you spent some time there.
Not because
just
she wants
looking.
to. She's
just like in a doctor kind of way.
She's watching The Bachelor and I come waddling in backwards.
Honey, what's this? Oh God, I gotta look again. It's the same thing it was last week.
I've seen it. Jesus.
Did it grow? No.
They spelled it wrong. It just says Heather. No, it's I forgot. That's my mother-in-law's name. I forgot.
Well, you're fucked.
That's our show, guys. Have a good night.
It was a short marriage. We had fun.
Anyway, so systematic racism in America.
Yeah.
Get
She's frozen again. Okay.
The thing that was bothering me the most, honestly, about that is everyone's like, you want her to represent the USA? And it's like, you want her to represent the USA, yet the USA is the one that has had her experience endless racism and oppression, I'm sure, throughout her life. That's the thing that really messes me up.
I mean, you made a really good point earlier. You know, you said you told us about 23 years old, where you didn't even know racism existed up until you were 23. And I mean, that's the same for a lot of people. Like I don't fucking know what they go through. I know there could be privilege, there could not be privilege. I've never experienced what they go through. I mean, it's just like,
They.
huh?
Who's they?
They.
Talking about black people?
I'm talking about anybody who feels oppressed.
Oh, okay.
I like that trap though. Fuck you very much.
Just keep me on your toes, bro.
No, but you know, people are ignorant to it. They don't know, you know, what other people have gone through in their lives. So,
That's
you
true.
know, she has a reason to feel the way she feels. And she should represent America. She should, because she's showing the world that no matter what happens, you know, you're free to speak your mind in this country. You're free to do what you want to do and feel how you want to feel.
It's true.
Shouldn't burn a flag in the middle of an Olympic stadium, okay? She turned her back on it because
She felt
sure
she felt like the country turned its back on her. I mean, you know, an eye for an eye. That's in the Bible.
And you know, Dustin and I feel the same way about this, and we are by no means speaking for all veterans out there or all service members out there by any means. But it is frustrating when people say, like, that flag represents all our service members and our veterans, people that have fought for our country. And like, no, that flag's supposed to represent the freedom for everybody. And if you don't feel free in this country, then that's something that needs to be addressed. It is freedom for all, not freedom for the straight white dude. Like, you know,
It's true. It's true. The flag still very much holds a very special place, you know, in my heart. I love the symbol of our country. I truly do, because I know what it can represent.
Yeah,
I've seen it. I've seen the beauty of no racism and no bigotry and no sexism and no homophobia, nothing like that, all happening at once. And it's like you truly feel welcome. That's when I think of, you know, my country, that's what I think of. And it's a shame that there are people in this country that don't feel that way, that can't feel that way. And, you know, it's not fair to them. It's not fair. What we're doing to them isn't fair.
Yeah. And when you bring it up to somebody and you say, hey, this is what's going on, they just throw fucking stupid ass stats at you. Like, oh, 1/3 of people do this. It's like,
if you don't like it, try to live somewhere else and you'll come back to America. And it's like, okay, yeah, I get what you're saying, but like, shit.
No, are we a better country than North Korea? Certainly.
Yes.
Yeah. But are we
perfect
country in the world?
I would say probably, but
I would say top 10.
Can we be better? Yeah.
That was the Tosh.0 skit. It was like, you know, maybe the terrorists would stop trying to kill us if we were just like, you know, we're in the top 10 instead of we're number 1. You know,
we're number 7.
We're
number 7.
We're at least pretty good. You know, they'd be like, okay, that's fair.
So while we're talking about the Olympics, man, what do you think about this runner that got kicked out of the Olympics for smoking a joint?
Shikari?
Yeah. So fuck that.
Fuck that.
Fuck that. They smoked marijuana in a state that was legal.
After an interview where a reporter informed her that her mom died.
Yeah, like she didn't even
really.
Know.
I didn't know any of this backstory. So just to be clear, I don't know anything about. I don't even know her name. I'm really ignorant on this one, but I just know like she popped hot on a piss test and now she can't compete.
So this is the problem that we have here.
If anything, weed slows you down. Smoke as much as you want. Maybe you'll come in second. Like,
or maybe not. Maybe they just have someone dropping cheese balls on the track, so she runs.
She's fucking running. She's a butterfly. Oh.
If you can, it's just, you know, it is not the same attitude around when Michael Phelps got caught smoking weed.
Correct.
It is not.
He was demonized too, though. Yeah, they didn't like him.
He lost all of his sponsors, and he was allowed to compete still. He competed afterwards.
I don't think he pissed hot though. I think there was a picture of him smoking a bong. I think
he never pissed hot. So it was him smoking in college.
Yeah.
So the point though is that the Olympics are an organization that they sign a contract saying that they will be drug free, and she broke the contract.
Did she already sign that contract, just having been to the trials?
Yeah, I think you can't do any part of any Olympic, whatever. I don't think I think it's before the trial. Like,
I think USADA's all in. As soon as you decide you're going to compete, they test you all the time.
You sign your life away.
It's the same with the UFC. They check them in all the time. They go at 6 a.m. to make them pee in a cup, just to make sure they're drug free.
So that the problem isn't that what the Olympic committee did to this person. That was in shittily enough, it was legal, right? The problem is that the rules are archaic. It is not the baseline anymore. It's so smoking marijuana is legal in many countries. I'm not going to pull numbers. In many countries, and almost the entire United States.
I'm going to need a stat. Get to throw a stat.
I'll be right with you.
Yeah.
Hold.
See, I feel. Go ahead.
No. So the idea is that we need to change the rules. The idea is that if within reason, right? Because there are going to be countries that fuck around with it. You can't be like, if the substance is legal where you're using it, it's fine. Because then they're like, well, HGH is legal in Madagascar. So now we've got giant fucking, dudes running around from Madagascar. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, we have to decide what is a Class A substance, and is marijuana a Class A substance?
Well, let's be real. I think if there's HGH is legal in Madagascar, they should be able to take it. I don't care about drugs in sports. I think you should take as much fucking steroids as you want.
Agreed.
I don't give a shit. It's a level playing field if everybody can take it.
I agree.
Here, if you want it, take it. If you don't take it.
I think we should rule. We should combine male and female sports to remove the transgender issues, and I think we should allow steroids and things like that across the board. If you want to get hopped up on fucking bath salts and meth and just inject yourself with horse steroids and then just truck the entire fucking San Francisco 49ers, do it. Run straight through all of them. I don't care.
If you want to throw down a bag of Cheetos and go run 100 yards, let's do it. Let's make it happen.
I can't.
The thing that's really what's infuriating about this is, like, marijuana is not a performance enhancing drug. If anything, it's a performance deteriorating drug. It's like, okay, then let her do it. Like, I'm pissed.
I don't know, man. There's no way that half those hot dog eating contest people aren't smoking a little dope beforehand.
Listen, they better be fucking testing those people. That guy ate like 500 hot dogs. He was high as a motherfucker. There's no way. There's no way.
Them down like one at a time.
Ma just said vroom.
I'm telling you, truck straight through them. She knows what's up.
No, but for real, I mean, there's UFC athletes get popped for steroids, whatever, man. I want to see the biggest, most jack motherfuckers throw down in the octagon. That's what I want to see. There's a lot of athletes that got kicked out of the UFC, not kicked out, but they never were the same again when they outlawed testosterone.
This is what I want. This is what I want. I want to see Tom Brady drop back, rip his helmet off, and eat someone's fucking face.
And then throw a touchdown pass.
And then just toss a touchdown, hanging cheek off his. That's what I fucking want.
No, but yeah, there's no reason that this lady should not be competing. I mean, she smoked a joint. And even then, like, it could stay in her system for 90 days. Like, she could have done it like 90 days ago, like not while she's running. But if she fucking got high before her race and won, like, dude, you should be worried about what she's going to do when she's not high.
The thing that –
Sorry, if she got high before a race and won, they'd take her medal away.
Yeah.
Which is fucking crazy.
Yep.
The thing that, like, double, triple sucks about this is Sha'Carri is such a unique individual. She runs with her hair down. She always has color in her hair. Not a lot of runners do. She's got her long ass nails, and she's just running and, like, just so authentically herself. And I'm not even saying if she didn't smoke weed, because clearly do not give a crap if she did that. If the Olympics didn't cut her out, she would have been such a role model for people to be an athlete and be themselves at the same time. Like, let her run.
Let her run.
I agree because it's one of those things where being an Olympic athlete is very much cookie cutter. Like, if you aren't built like Usain Bolt, don't even fucking bother. Like, you can't possibly compete.
People had this idea of the Olympics, like if you win a gold medal, you're rich and famous for life. Dude, America taxes you. If you win a gold medal, you win like 10 grand and they fucking tax you on what you win.
Yeah.
They take your fucking money. No, for
That's
real.
the American way.
Yeah, like you might get in a Wheaties box where they're taxing that shit too. Like, you're not rich and famous from winning the Olympics. It's a personal thing, it's an accomplishment you have and you earned. If you smoke a joint before that, who gives a shit?
Yeah. I'm just saying they're lucky that the medals are like gold, silver, and bronze and not like cans of oil, because we'd be going after them. We'd be parked outside in the parking lot.
No, but it's stupid. I mean, half the country, not a little less than half the country, it's legal, recreational. 3/4 of the country is legal, medical. If you can just go get a doctor to sign in, every fucking doctor you go to is going to give you a card. That's their job. $100, you have a card. Let's be real. Like, how come?
I was anxious once.
This person, I keep forgetting her name, and I don't want to say George. This person, has worked her whole life for this, and it got delayed for a year and a half because of COVID, and now she can't run because she got high. I mean, whatever. It's fucked up. I disagree completely.
Yikes, Katie, that's rough.
I'm looking it up. Oh, just said fact check, claim wrong. And I literally said Sha'Carri replacement and fact check incorrectly. The title is, was Sha'Carri Richardson replaced by an anti-drug Mormon?
Oh my God.
So that's fake then. That's fake.
Fake news.
All right, Katie, stop spreading fake news.
God.
Misinformation. You're going to get zucked.
Wow, that's your name. Misinformation.
Yeah, misinformation. Jesus.
Anyway.
Oh,
Look,
it was
it was Jess and Mom. They're going
that got taken.
I love that PFFT. I can never pronounce it, but I love it.
Fake.
No, I mean, it's wrong. It's wrong in every level. There's no way you can tell me that. Even UFC allows you to smoke weed now. Like, if you're a fighter, you can smoke weed. Nick Diaz smoked weed on the stage. Like, he was during a press conference, he was smoking weed.
I mean, they got Joe Rogan as like their mascot, and that dude has more drugs in his system right this second than I've ever done in my whole life.
Yeah. Speaking of which, are you watching the fight tomorrow?
No, I'd
How
like to.
many drugs have you done today?
Where am I?
Me? Zero drugs today.
How many? I mean, like, I don't even know where I would go to see the fight because I don't have it here, and I don't want to. I can buy it on Hulu, and it's $68, and I'm not going to spend $68 to watch McGregor knock him out in 4 seconds. So
you think it's gonna knock him out?
It wasn't $69 because that's lame.
It's $70 now. It's gone up like $10 this year.
I don't think McGregor.
Who's fighting?
Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier.
I will only watch it if it's Conor McGregor and Jake Paul, because I do want to watch Jake Paul die from a single punch.
Jake Paul would probably beat McGregor. Let's be honest. McGregor's not a boxer.
We're not friends anymore, Mike.
No, in UFC. If McGregor and Jake Paul.
Wait,
in the UFC, if he could kick him,
boxer?
Yeah.
If he could kick, oh yeah, it's done.
Yeah, no, that
was the.
If you could bring it to the ground, like
I forgot that there's multiple fightings.
He would snap Paul's arm like a pretzel.
Well, that's the stupid thing, because he challenges the guys to boxing matches that are in the UFC. Like, he fought Ben Askren, and Ben Askren's a wrestler. He can't punch for shit. He's never punched anybody.
Ben Askren.
Yeah.
Congrats, dude.
Congrats.
Yeah, he's a really good wrestler, but he can't punch.
Could have picked a dude out of the audience, had the same effect. Like, it doesn't matter. But yeah. I mean, whatever. The dude's an asshole. But no, I'm not going to go see the McGregor fight. I do love it, but I'm not willing to spend that kind of money. When we get to Michigan, hell yeah, let's get together and do it. But I'm not going to just for Kate and I to sit and watch a.
Yeah, throw down $20 each, whatever. Buy some beer. Yeah, I'm down.
It's just not worth it for us. Like, I'll watch the 40-second preview afterwards. So no, man. Well, so thank you everybody who I want to take a quick second and thank those who are on here for coming to the wedding and we had a really great time, and do appreciate everything, the wonderful gifts and your wonderful presence, and Mike, you especially for helping out and doing like everything, the bachelor
And
party,
Katie.
everything.
And James and Justin.
Yeah.
James.
Yeah. Jess, thank you. And side note, Jess, glad that you're doing well and healthy. We're not going to get into too many specifics, but we're glad that you pulled through.
Pull through it, no problems. I haven't seen anything bad. I mean, I wish you the best, fast recovery.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
for sure. Know that our thoughts and prayers and all that, because
thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts, ampersand, prayers.
Ampersand prayers. So, yeah.
Justin's baller on wedding day. She was like, "What do you drink for coffee?" It's like,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yep. So thank you guys.
Yeah, clutch.
Definitely appreciate it.
So Justin, you're watching though, man. You and James need to get married pretty soon, man. Let's start putting the pressure on you.
Don't do that.
Don't put pressure on anything.
Well, I did to you. I was giving you shit when we hung out at Justin's house about not being married yet, and that kind of just spurred the whole thing. So
barely.
Oh yeah, you were
barely alive.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
who's alive?
No, it's not even true. It's not even remotely true.
You wouldn't be married if it wasn't for me. Let's be real.
That is true.
Yeah.
To be fair, he definitely wouldn't be married if it wasn't for me.
That is true. That is true.
You said you just doing that, just moved it back another year. James is like, damn it!
Shut up, Sheldon, you son of a bitch.
I've been asking Dustin, like, if there was a moment where he was like, "Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm gonna propose. Yeah, we're gonna get this rolling."
How come that looks like two? Is that a butt with a heart out of it?
Stop avoiding me.
I thought it was a ball bag.
Oh,
I literally can only see squares.
I thought it was a butt with a heart coming out. Yeah, I can pinpoint the exact moment that my will was broken.
Yeah. We decided I'm giving up my nuts. I'm not going to have them anymore.
Yeah.
He still has 3.
Yeah, I lost one in the war.
See, we all think that she proposed
Katie,
to you.
he didn't say shit. I'm like, what was the moment that you finally knew that, like, I was the one and you were going to marry? And he's like, I don't know, you just farted one night.
So are we
How
getting
could I
married or
possibly
what?
pinpoint the night you farted? It's every night.
Okay, this is my favorite story. The first time I ever stayed over at Dustin's house in New York, I woke up early and he was like very lightly snoring, like, and I thought it was so cute because like everything's cute when you first start dating. And he wakes up, kind of, his eyes are still closed, and I'm like, "You snore in your sleep," and he just goes, "Yeah, well, you fart in yours," and turns over.
Hey, romance isn't dead. That's all I gotta say.
And I'm like, "I do not," and he's still turned over with the covers over his head. He's like, "Yes, you do."
That was my deal.
I've heard of resting bitch face before. I didn't know I had resting I'm gonna fucking kill you face. Like
you
that.
resting, I could kill everyone here right now.
Like I saw some other pictures of me. I'm like, oh my god, I always look like I want to kill somebody. No wonder everyone thinks I'm mad all the time.
You just always look like you're thinking about food.
I love that picture that Dustin's like got a tear. My brother's giggling because he's uncomfortable, and Sheldon's just like looks like he's imagining 10 ways he could kill me before I got to the end of the aisle.
First of all, let me stop you. I had an eyelash. There wasn't any tears.
Come on, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, you weepy bastard.
Also, I'm so
You
pissed you write down your vows.
Oh, shit.
All right, guys, let's end this shit. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Like and share, man. Let's grow this thing a little bit. Send this out to your friends. I know it's embarrassing and we're terrible, but still send it out anyway.
It's true. Like and subscribe so we can tell you more fart stories.
Exactly. So we'll see you guys next week. We'll get the fuck out of here. Have a good night.